Hi there, this is Peter Fan for Agent Builder Coaching, and in this 15th week of Agent Advantage Weekly, our newsletter slash mini podcast, whatever you want to call it, we're going to talk about a Halloween event, and these are one of those simple little fun events. And this week we're talking about Halloween, but it could be any kind of event, right? You pick a season, you pick an opportunity or situation, and having scheduled 4, 5, 6 maybe events per year is a really booster of your sphere of influence. It will do a dramatic impact on memorability in the sense that people will remember you way better, way deeper, and will talk about it for years to come. Believe me, it is absolutely true. So, and so if you are at all involved in interested, engaged with your community, Halloween is about as good as it gets as far as having a little bit of fun that involves families, neighborhoods, communities, uh, crosses all kinds of borders as far as how you can do these things in a fun and exciting way. So it definitely builds on that whole need to be connected with your community in a very, very significant way. So, you know, here's a Victoria agent that added 63 sphere of influence contacts with one little food drive, which is just one idea that you can do with Halloween, of course, or you could organize a food drive for any situation of circumstance, and there's definitely a need for those. So, how authentic are you, right? If you like being connected with people, and you have a hobby, an interest, a sport, something that connects you to your business, and adding an event like a Halloween event, a pumpkin carving contest, a costume photo contest, a bonfire, a hot chocolate event, you name it, right? There's so many opportunities. Then you can have a great time on, with your community, with your superpower group, so to speak. But more importantly, you can have a much greater outreach in your community without being threatening, being scary, other than your costume, maybe. And oh, by the way, don't show up as a realtor. Okay, that just won't fly. Even I know that, and I don't like social events at the best of times. So, an animal agent added, 5 buyer consults. Right, that's just doing a cookie baking contest. And it's simple stuff. Really about personal invites, personal connections, partner collaborations. Yeah, this is one of those events where, for sure, if you have a mortgage broker or an inspector or an insurance broker or a lawyer, a notary in your community, your moving company contractor, they're all in for something like this, and it just can really, you can piggyback on each other's databases and making a relatively small group become quite large just by collaboration, right? And all of a sudden you have access to a much broader audience than you ever thought that was possible. So important stuff. These are events, opportunities that really, you know, you can fill in your own blanks as to how you want to do it. We give you a kit and we give you some tools, but it really doesn't matter whether it's about pumpkins or whether it's about costumes or hot chocolate or food drives or photo photography contest that you do on or offline or both. Just you know, so many ways, so many ways. Okay, this was a pumpkin bash, right? So, hi, my name is right. I'm hosting a Halloween pumpkin bash. It's a family friendly affair with treats and prizes. Can I count you in? Right? And it's just nothing to it, right? It just run with it. Now, again, there's really, once you have the concept down pat and you have decided as to what it's going to look like, then go for it. But find an opportunity to book the venue, community halls, municipal halls, parking lots attached to rec centers, uh, fire halls. In fact, fire departments are very much into these things. So if you can collaborate with them, they'll be all over it because they like to do things safe. Yet they are very much involved with the community and love doing stuff like this. Any kind of other vendors that you want to have participate, and then be present, be part of the event. So if you're doing a photo contest, and maybe become the photographer, or be the person that takes the contact information so that you can send the emails with the finished product and the finished photographs over to the people, and make sure that you have consent forms and all that kind of stuff. But nowadays you have to do these things, but again, don't overcomplicate it either, right? Track your invites, track your attendees, and then think about the cost a little bit. And again, in collaboration, things don't have to be overly expensive. In fact, one of the ways to do it is say, "Hey, I'm gonna piggyback on somebody else's event, whether it's a community group or a church or a service club or a neighborhood resident association, right?" And you say, "Okay, I'm gonna spend X amount of dollars, but I'm not physically gonna do anything. I'm just to tag my name to it, and I'll be allowed to do this, that, or whatever." So if the people are already coming and you doing I don't know, a Halloween drawing contest, or a, a pumpkin carving contest, or a photography contest on the side, people are already showing up, right? So you're just adding to the mix, and it becomes pretty exciting very quickly. Okay, so use the event as a lead magnet, right? Do have some form of sign in with QR codes, and then have a follow up program in place, particularly if you're doing some sort of a contest, which is a simple way of saying, "Hey, I need some contact information because you're participating in contests, and you want to make sure that you get whatever we promise you to get, and if you win, then obviously we need to get in touch with you." Right? So that type of follow up is of key importance, of course, when you do these things. So we've got some ideas for you in the kit, but um, you know, an agent in Syria was able to do some really significant growth in 112 people added to their contact management system and 4 closed sales. Right, so think of the return on investment that was on an event. That's phenomenal, right? Have some sort of a wow factor to it, a little swag bag, it's going down to the dollar store, the candy store, finding some added bit that you can go and really wow people with. But it's a healthy one. But I don't know whether it's go. There must be farms in your community. Is there not boxes of apples or other boxes of corn, or something fun that you can pick up and do something with as a giveaway? Well, of course there are, right? Yeah, this agent in Langford, right? We did family portraits in costumes, and that was really, really, really successful. I tell you, and we did that at a fire hall, and right, we got the collaboration of the fire hall, and they had it's actually technically it was called alcohol, but they had an older fire engine sitting there. People were all dressed up. We took the photos, and off it went. It was just real simple, real fun. And in those days, I have to admit, people weren't quite as preoccupied with giving out or not giving out email addresses, so it was a little bit easier. But even today, I think that would still fly, right? So anyway, so in the giveaway today, there's an event checklist, there's some scripts, there's a budget tracker, there's some charity ideas, and then there's some other bits and pieces that you can play with as far as action plans, so that you can keep on track and stay on track. But I want to kind of leave you with a bit more generalized approach to events per year. Right, you now see how relatively straightforward it is to organize a little event. Well, Halloween is one, Valentine's is another. Of course, Canada Day is another. right? So there's three right there. Now then you have the typical holidays, but they're a little bit, I guess, bloated. Can you say there's a lot going on those days? Even Canada Day at times gets a little bit too busy in certain communities. So maybe you won't get quite the attention that you're looking for. Okay, granted. So what about Easter, right? I I've seen agents do extremely well with Easter egg contests in their community. Beach cleanups or park cleanups, food drives, as I said before. Food drives are a wonderful way to do good on so many levels, right? And it's easy to organize. You could actually incorporate a school or service clubs with that and make it so that you deliver bags to a community, to an area, to a neighborhood, and you can pick 2 to 3 different communities, one week after another, right? So that the whole thing becomes a 1 month event, and you've covered 4 neighborhoods or 2 neighborhoods or whichever way you want to do. So you drop off bags one week and you pick them up the next week, right? And you follow it up with follow up letters and thank you letters, and then you make a big to do about the donation itself. We did one with businesses. In fact, not houses, but businesses. And we were not actually looking for necessarily food donations, although we didn't turn them down. But we went business to business to business, and it was remarkable, the feedback, because nobody ever approached the businesses to make donations to food bank and so on and so forth. And we ended up with a truckload full of food 2 years in a row. We actually got a write up in the newspaper and all that kind of stuff. It was just an incredible response. It was just amazing. And, the feedback and the results from it obviously spoke, stories. And so for you and for us as professionals in our business and in our communities, seeking out these events, and even if you said, okay, I can only do one a year, then pick one and go after it. This time of the year is a great time of the year to do that because people get in that holiday mood already. And so if you can find something to do now, and certainly I can guarantee you, if you go into your food bank and make that one of your activities, they're going to be forever grateful because they're suffering, right? They are looking for donations from anywhere that they can get them from because the demand is ever increasing, and money is getting harder and harder to find for them. So if you find a magic touch in building something around it, that would be a great thing to do as well. And we'll do a special um, newsletter on that event. But again, I'm just giving you some ideas. This is specific to Halloween, and you know this won't take more than, I'm going to say, a day to organize, right? As far as getting your mind around it, figuring out who you're going to collaborate with, what you're going to focus on, target on, and then put together the marketing materials. And we've even given you some of those ideas already. And then you go for it and you go and have some fun. All right. So with that, you know, it's Halloween truly is one of those events where you can connect with people on so many different ways and be non-threatening, be you know, scary, although you're supposed to look scary, but you're not scary as a salesperson, which is kind of a good thing for a change, right? And yes, it allows the little kid in you to come out and do and play and have some fun, right? In a safe and of course an appropriate manner, right? The whole idea of it is to connect and stay connected with your community, and Halloween is probably one of the best ways of doing that in a very fun and not so very expensive way. So I hope you have fun with it. And if we can help in any way, shape, or form, and our tools helping you, please let us know. If there's any questions, any challenges, anything that you want more information about, we're always here. Have a fantastic week. And, just in case you forgot, subscribe, forward to a friend. And if you need any help with your career or business, give us a call and make up an appointment with us. Okay? Have a fantastic week. All the best.